Hello, welcome to the 2021 Women's History Month Virtual Art Exhibit, a collaboration between El Paso Community College Diversity and Inclusion Programs and the El Paso Art Association. My name is Karla Zanelli and I am the Executive Director at the EPAA. Thank you to El Paso Community College for inviting us to participate once again in celebrating women's history through art. In this exhibit, we celebrate the wonders and achievements of women in different ways, by looking back at history to great women of the past, the strong women of today, the women that make our families great, and together celebrating the creativity and diversity of the women artists in this show. The combination of those elements have created the special exhibit today that resonates with talent, beauty, and determination. Please enjoy this virtual art exhibit today. Ever Acosta. Ever is an art teacher in Socorro ISD and a recent Best of Show winner in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline Show. Ever states, I never really knew where I fell in the art spectrum. As the years go by, I find how much I enjoy printmaking and its connection to street art and pop culture. My recent artwork is largely inspired by pop art and society, and artists like Shepard Fairey and Butcher Bill. In this piece called Piedad, I was inspired by Michelangelo's Pietà sculpture and the feeling it instills in me. The sadness in Mary's expression after losing her son. These healthcare workers have become the angels in the lives of those directly affected by COVID-19. Here the nurse looks up in despair as she holds a dead patient in her arms, as if asking for compassion. The red and blue rays in the background are reaching to the nurse's heart, and the doves, a symbol of love, peace, and harmony, fly off in hopes that good things will be coming into the nurse's life. Alexi Bernard. Alexi is currently attending the University of Texas at El Paso in the BFA program. Alexi uses her art to explore personal narrative through the style of magical realism. Her most common themes include the human relationship to home and play, and the relationship between animism, the environment, and capitalism. Born in Houston, she has called many cities home and is very happy to be getting to know the vibrancy of El Paso. Socialized to aim for perfection, Butterfly is a work about letting go of preconceived notions of what creativity should look like. It is a gestural painting, emphasizing the importance of play in a world that has conditioned women and femme artists to fine-tune and control outcomes that needn't be constricted. When we allow ourselves room to play, vulnerability and all, creativity can flow freely, and we get to see what we are truly capable of. Solange Diaz. Solange is a high school student and a recent honorable mention winner in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline Show. Solange states, I'm coursing through my second year of high school. Some of my favorite styles to draw are in foreshortening and digital art, and from time to time I paint landscapes. In this piece called The Heroes, I wanted to portray the frontline workers like a tarot card. I decided to make a card with the 5 heroes, putting a doctor with a planet in her hands as the main focal point, because in my opinion, they are the ones that have been risking more than any other. Then I added the other 4 frontline workers, a police officer, firefighter, mail carrier, and a teacher. I got inspiration from the Art Nouveau style and from my art teacher, Miss Pagliasotti, and in her paintings. I named this piece The Heroes because after all, they are the people that are saving and risking their lives because they believe in protecting what is right in the world. I do believe that they are the heroes that make this world a better place. Nayora Garcia. I've called El Paso home since 1985. I live with my super supportive husband, John, and our beautiful greyhound rescue named Shiva. My sacred space is my art loft studio that I have in our home. I am an abstract artist, and every piece I create comes from within the deepest essence of who I am. I created this piece called Nashim, which means women or womankind in Hebrew, to honor the women in my family. My mamère, that's French for grandmother, my mother, my sister, and my daughter, who passed away in 2003, appears in this heartwarming piece. I had only a few photos of my mamère and mother to work with, so I used what I had. These women all represent strength, determination, and resilience to me. I have a part of each of these beautiful women within me. Nayora Garcia. This next piece, called Abstract Ascension, is a mixed media collage with yellow, pink, blues, and grays, and black lines that traverse the canvas in all directions. Nayora states, in this piece I have neuro lines, a component of neurographic art that represents neural connections in the brain, and some collage pieces of some of my neurographic art as well. I have made some of the neuro lines look like barbed wire. This piece represents the mental blocks or barriers and the constraints I have created within my own mind. The ladder in the center represents my ascension out of these self-imposed constraints. Jean Holzenthaler. Jean is a retired public school teacher and children's book author, as well as a visual artist who creates wonderful, colorful calendars each year. She works in watercolors and acrylics with a combination of 3D swirls and collage. Jean's artistic style is colorful and contemporary. She uses a variety of media to communicate joy and beauty. Her abstract works aim to be entertaining and thought-provoking, often with a touch of humor. The inspiration for the artworks in this exhibit is the uniqueness of women. Only women can make milk for their children. Only women can be sisters in a sorority. Only a woman can be a mother or grandmother. There are many kinds of partnerships, but only a woman can be a wife. History includes her story. Milky Way is a collage of concentric skin-toned circles that represents the female breasts. Jean Holzenthaler. This next piece is titled Alpha Kappa Alpha Colors and Sisters. Painted intertwined loops of pink and green display the names of famous Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sisters, such as Vice President Kamala Harris and former First Lady Michelle Obama. Bailey Kukola. Bailey is a talented high school student, and Miss Pagliasotti is her art teacher. Bailey states, I'm a burgeoning artist, excited to try all different styles and mediums. The inspiration for this work, called Her Sanctuary, came from the prompt we were given in art class. I also drew inspiration from the heroism that frontline workers face with the current situation in the world. This piece is based off of the Art Nouveau style, showing flowers and vines through an arched canopy. It represents a frontline worker taking a break after a very long day. Alejandro Lugo. Alejandro states, "I am a self-taught photographer. My work captures people's everyday life. My photographic work has been published in scholarly journals and is also found in the permanent collections of the National Museum of Mexican Art in Chicago and the Krauner Art Museum at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. The two photographs in this show were inspired by the struggles and strength experienced by essential workers such as nurses and doctors during the last administration's COVID era. Fear Configuration 1 shows nurse practitioner Dr. Sophia Thomas and her account of the lack of access to PPE, and in the process she remains firm and strong. Dr. Thomas is president of the American Association of Nurse Practitioners and was there to attend the White House's recognition of National Nurses Day on May 6, 2020. Alejandro Lugo. This next photograph by Alejandro, called Fear Configuration 3, shows a doctor who has hope in the face of fear because we stayed home. John W. MacKenzie. John is an award-winning artist who states that he likes to work in solitude, and his paintings are works of love. Each one is line and color defined by symbolism. John received an honorable mention in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline show for Frontier Responder, Calamity Joanne, a humorous take on a famous female of the past. Frontier Responder Calamity Joanne represents the strong women of the frontier days like Calamity Jane, the most famous woman in the West. She protected the weak. This is called Calamity Joanne after John's daughter, who for many years was an ambulance driver. Now she works to bring vaccines to Hudspeth County along with other humanitarian deeds. John W. MacKenzie. This next piece is called Red-Haired Woman Resting on Leo, to symbolize the strength and fierceness of a woman who tames the massive creature. They become one as she wraps herself in the long, lush mane. John uses rich colors of blue, red, and orange, with playful swirling lines and many beautiful textural elements to create this stunning piece. Ina Marzia. Ina is a high school student and Miss Pagliasotti is her art teacher. With this piece, Ina won 3rd place in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline show. Ina states, "Most of my works are realistic portraits, but I often experiment with other styles to increase the depth of my work. I use collage and paint to add color to make the viewer think a little when viewing my work." The inspiration for this piece are the workers that are doing it all to keep our communities safe during the pandemic. In order to show respect and recognition for their hard work that they do, I have created a work based on them. This piece, called Pandemic Heroes, features a nurse as the focal point. The artwork emphasizes how they have been our heroes during the pandemic and even before. I used symbols of the earth and phases of the moon to show how time was passing by and how they have been there for us since the beginning. The mask on the nurse shows the impact they have made. By using a collage technique, it shows how many cases there have been and how brave they are serving us. Candy Mayer. An award-winning artist, Candy creates landscapes and still lives of the borderland in pastels, acrylics, pen and ink, and mixed media collage. And her religious themes include Guadalupe, saints, and angels. Candy states, I like the idea that Guadalupe is symbolic of Mexico as both a religious and cultural symbol. I have painted so many images of her since they are very popular. I am always trying to think of a different way to portray her. This piece, called Guadalupe of the Light, uses a familiar pose, but I wanted to lighten the colors and add more gold and silver. The pastel colors create a calm, peaceful feeling, but the metallic paint gives it a royal feeling too. Candy Mayer. This piece, titled Mandala Guadalupe, was based on an earlier painting. The first painting was done in darker blues, silvers, and golds. The halo behind her was painted as an antique gold carving. So in this new version, I simplified her as a young, more human woman. I used bright colors and designs. I painted a vivid, colored mandala behind her as a halo. Mandala means circle, and is a traditional circular geometric art form in the Hindu and Buddhism practice used for meditation. I like the combination of several different religions in one image. Eduardo Molina. I am an El Paso native, Eduardo states, and started drawing at the age of 10. I like to paint people and show their many emotions. My paintings were proudly displayed at the Rock House Cafe. Recently, I'm painting women of the Mexican Revolution and women gunfighters. My favorite artist is Norman Rockwell. He would tell a story in his paintings. I like to create something that you would have displayed in your home, and I aspire to stay away from critics' negativity. This piece, titled Guardian, represents a woman with child being guarded by the Virgin Mary. Eduardo Molina. This next piece of acrylic and charcoal, called Drummer Girl, is of a woman getting a young drummer girl ready to perform a sweet song. Carmen Navar. Carmen is an award-winning multimedia artist whose mission is to create a place of peace and beauty in a stress-filled world. Carmen's work finds meaning through artistic inquiry, observation, and embraces stylistic diversity. Florence Nightingale and the 12 Vaccines. Florence was a British nurse and best known as the founder of modern nursing and was a pioneer of public health. Because of Florence Nightingale, nursing is one of the most regulated and respected professions in the world. The 12 Vaccines is a throwback on Christ and his 12 apostles, which represents the perfect governance by God and divine rule, authority, and perfection. Florence is a symbol for the universal creator and nurturer, which is symbolized by a female woman. The world is a better place because she pursued her inner call to nursing. Carmen Navar. In her work, Carmen often uses added symbols to convey a message or theme and creates multi-layered pieces with a strong composition. Color often plays an important role to combine depth of expression and marks of beauty in her work. Carmen states, "The Queen's Garden is an homage to my mom and the mother of creation, Mother Nature, and all the beauty she produces." Ramiro Ordonez. My influences are first and foremost everything I see, feel, and experience. My subject matter is people. Everyone I see is a potential painting. I use traditional materials from acrylic paint on cradleboard to watercolors on paper. My work mixes everyday people with traditional and cultural patterns, clothing, and scenes in a creative, fun, and expressive manner. As the youngest member of a typical Hispanic household, you could always find me drawing and learning about art. I always felt that art was my calling. I just didn't know that would lead me to become a teacher. Teaching art to children has allowed me to rediscover my inner child. I seem to be learning as much as I am teaching. I suppose that I am and always will be a student of art. As a working artist, I too am the art, and with each creation I expose a little bit of myself to the observer. It is my hope that my work engages the viewer and that my use of materials and the artistic process results in an experience that is challenging, rewarding, and entertaining. This piece, titled Morning Coffee, is in memory of my mom. Every morning I would stop and chat with her as she had her coffee and cookies, and now all I have left is the memories. Ramiro Ordonez. This next piece is titled Gracias. A young daughter gives an adoring kiss on the cheek to her papa. It is a sign of love and respect to those who will do anything for their children. Thank you for the sacrifices. Sarai Pagliasotti. Sarai is a visual arts educator and portrait artist based in El Paso, Texas. She has studied art at UTEP and La Sorbonne and received her Master's of Studio Art Education from UTEP. Her work is mixed media that combines painting, printmaking, drawing, and textile techniques. Sarai won an honorable mention in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline show and has a number of talented students participating in each show as well. Sarai states, "As an educator myself, the balancing act between chaos and grace during this pandemic is necessary. I do this for my own children and those in my classroom, for their sanity." This piece, called The Educator, is reminiscent of an Art Nouveau style and shows a peaceful balancing of chaos with grace. A statuesque masked teacher in a sea of flowers stands draped in a white sheath and flowing brown curls, while remembering to keep her hands free from germs. Elani Rucobo. Elani is a sophomore at Bel Air High School in Art 2 and is studying painting with acrylics. Elani states, "I was inspired by Amanda Gorman and her poem The Hill We Climb at the inauguration of President Biden in January. Amanda Gorman is a poet activist, and at 22, Amanda is the youngest inaugural poet ever in the United States. Amanda is an award-winning writer and cum laude graduate of Harvard University, where she studied sociology. She has written for the New York Times and has 3 books forthcoming. This piece I titled Unity after Amanda's poem, where she spoke of national unity, not division. In a Sea of Blue, Eilani's piece shows women's rights for all, including teachers, nurses, soldiers, doctors, engineers, and everyone. Sabrina Saenz Schrader. Born and raised in El Paso, Sabrina is an architectural designer as well as a graduate from EPCC. Sabrina states, in 2020, I completed my architectural thesis based on co-living housing and graduated from the California College of the Arts with a master's degree in architecture. But none of that would be possible without the strong women in my life that continue to inspire me, none more than my mother. Frida Kahlo painted through her pain. Through many difficult times this past year, I have learned to channel more of myself into artwork and taking more moments to artistically heal. Frida's flower flies. Using the colors of Frida Kahlo's life as inspiration, as well as the Mexican architectural works. The deep blue of Casa Azul hovers in the background, as Frida is surrounded by flower flies in her own painted world. Está en su mundo. Michelle Silva. Michelle graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso with a bachelor's degree in art and a minor in education. Michelle also participated in the EPAA's Mighty Frontline show. Michelle states, I paint with expressive brushstrokes and vibrant colors. As an educator, I find myself inspired by the dedication and love teachers give their students. They have a passion and heart for their profession, and every student who strives for greatness has seen a teacher be a role model. Teachers are there every step of the way, and in many ways we're always learning from them. Michelle Silva. This next piece is called Best Teacher, a still life showing an arrangement on a teacher's desk of a purple pencil holder and brightly colored pens and pencils, and a present of a delicious red apple. Karla Zanelli. These are my nieces Raylani and Andrea, who I am super proud of. Raylani is a 4th grade teacher in Fort Worth, Texas, and Andrea is a 2nd grade teacher in Minnesota. And they always bring a positive attitude to their classroom even through these trying times. Raylani states, the pandemic has been a challenge for teachers. We had to change the way we do things and adapt to those changes while still giving our students a good education. It is a balancing act teaching both kids at home and kids in the classroom. You need to give them both the same experience and keep it as normal as possible. Their amazing young minds are full of joy and potential, and I enjoy seeing them every day. Andrea too enjoys nurturing young minds in a positive way. She thinks children are incredible through their smiles, personalities, excitement, creativeness, and silliness. All of their little light shines so bright in my heart. They make me genuinely happy. Thank you to Raylani and Andrea for being the awesome teachers you are and the best nieces around. Everyone at the El Paso Art Association and El Paso Community College Diversity and Inclusion Programs hopes you enjoyed the 2021 Women's History Month virtual art exhibit. Thank you to the 18 artists who participated this year to celebrate women's history through art. Thank you to Olga Chavez and Lee Vasquez for including the EPAA once again in bringing together artists and artwork for these important events of diversity and inclusion. Thank you, everyone. Stay well and stay awesome.